Hi, I'm Charles from the Environment Agency and the Unlocking the Severn project, and I'm here to talk about the fish pass you see behind me at Beverley Weir. This is the second weir, navigation weir up the River Severn after Diglas, which we've seen earlier in the day. And I was just going to tell you a little bit about how it works and its position. So if we have a look over my shoulder, you can see that this column pass, or natural light bypass, that goes around the weir, comes in at the top end of the historic weir that we can see behind us, which is angled. And as you can see from the flow that's going off down, a real good flume of flow, all the fish that approach this weir will be angled towards this corner, where they'll easily find the entrance to this fish pass and then move on upstream. One of the comments we often get is that this doesn't look very natural, and I can see where people get that idea, because we're looking at it as humans looking down on it, and it doesn't look very natural. But nothing in this landscape that you can see is actually natural. The weir isn't, the navigation lock isn't natural, or even all the farmland and the trees growing around us have all had some human input. But what I really wanted to say was, for a fish, this is natural. If you imagine, before this was built, the fish used to swim up, any species of fish used to swim up and meet the navigation weir with this tiny thin layer of water flowing over the top of it, going down into the weir pool. And that is not natural to a fish. But a fish arriving and seeing this column pass will find a natural sweep of variable flows coming round the corner at an angle and velocity which they can just swim straight up through and appear at the top end of the fish pass, which we'll see in a bit. The other thing I hear a lot about is, why do you have all the columns? Well, the columns are there to break up the flow, as I've just explained. But if we didn't have columns, to get the gradient you would need to get the same flow velocity down and through it, the pass would probably have to be 3 times as long to go all the way up through a whole field and into the next field to get it into the site. So I think this is a good compromise for the fish and for us looking down on it. Right, now we're at the top of the fish pass, where it exits back in upstream of the weir. And what I really wanted to show you here was the curve that you can see behind me. Now the curve allows fish to move up gradually round this corner without causing them to get too high velocities, and we've achieved that by putting the columns at different heights, as you can see behind me. This isn't a mistake that they stick out more on one side than the other. So where we have the higher flows, where the columns are sticking up or slightly larger, the larger fish that inhabit this river will be able to swim up easily, while on the inside of the bend, the smaller fish species will be able to swim up as well. And that's one of the key things about this pass, and what we try to do at all the passes on this project, and that is allow it to benefit not just the Thwaite shad, which was what they're built for, but also all the other fish species that actually live in this river. So the pike, the dace, the chub, the barbel, and even small species like bleak will be able to use this fish pass to move up. And that includes the migratory species such as the lamprey, which we know have problems getting over the navigation weirs because we've tagged those as part of this project, and also the eels, to allow them to get as far upstream as possible to grow before they go back out to sea. If we go now to pan a little bit to the left, we'll be able to see the top end of the pass. And what I wanted to show you here was how easy it's going to be for us to monitor here. There is really a very, very slow velocity of water entering this pass, or despite the fact it takes quite a lot of water. And on that concrete plinth, we'll be able to either set up an hydroacoustic, an ARIS, to actually monitor fish coming through, or even just a set of underwater cameras looking up to get those images to show that fish are actually using this pass. Right, to show you how the velocities change through the fish pass, I'm just going to do a very quick experiment of introducing this orange ball. And what it will show is it goes down between the columns. There are areas of fast velocity and then areas of extremely slow velocity where the fish can just wait on their migration through. So you'll just see as this ball goes in, that it would take a very long time for the ball to go from the very top of the fish pass to the bottom. And that's exactly the conditions we're looking for fish. So behind me you can see the River Severn as it carries on up to the Welsh borders, up through Shrewsbury and the 2 other navigation weirs. But this project isn't just about the River Severn. Thwaite shad also enter the River Teme, which is a major tributary that comes in just below Worcester, which has recently been the main spawning area for shad on the river. And on that river, the Environment Agency has tackled two structures itself. One at Powick Weir, which is lowered to allow fish to go upstream and easily over it. That's just upstream from the tributary where it joins the River Severn. And then about 15 kilometres further up from that is one called Nightwick Weir, which we've made into a rock ramp to allow the shad to just easily swim straight up and over the top of it. And from there they can continue all the way up to Ludlow. And so this is another important tributary, and hopefully the shad, well, they're already starting to use that tributary from our tracking results already, but we'll use it more and more in the years to come.